students here. I am your career counselor as well. Marketing, risk management and insurance, and actuarial sciences are my majors that I serve. Aaliyah Arnold Martin, who you all know as well, she handles the other half of the wonderful business school. So all accounting, finance, students, business economics, real estate, and of course, the wonderful CIS department. And we both cover entrepreneurship. So I'm going to get a couple minutes. I'm going to share my screen. We're kind of going to go through this PowerPoint. Please put your questions in the chat. And Mariella definitely walk us through it. Marielle, you want to record? You're on mute. We're good? Yes.
Yes, we're recording. We're recording.
We're recording this time. We had a request, so we hope we can help you. Ask great questions, and we're definitely going to get this started. So let's go. Get you guys in here and going. All right, everybody. Can you see my screen? Not yet? I guess hidden share would work, wouldn't it? Share my screen. There we go. All right, wonderful people. Let's get to it. All right, everybody. Everybody can see my screen? Thumbs up? Nods? Yeah, we're good? Wonderful. All right. So today I would like to introduce you to all the career counselors at the Robinson College of Business. Definitely take a good picture of this to find out who your career counselor is. If you also go to the RCB CAC website, you can also see what majors each of us handle, which is really, really good for you. You can also find the undergraduate and graduate career guide that has all of the resume templates in it for you and good tips and tricks from what we're going to talk about today as well. Career fair prep. These topics are going to be very important. We want to make sure that you guys can move through this virtual environment really well. We know it's been difficult. We understand that it's been hard, but it's so important for you guys to go ahead and start honing in on all these different tips and tricks and skills. So we are definitely going to talk about virtual career fair, what companies are looking for, how to do your professional introduction, what virtual interviews might happen. And I know some of you have already been having a lot of those. So this will give you some extra help. How to follow up. And then if you have any questions, feel free to go ahead and ask any of your questions in the chat. All right, what's a virtual career fair? Well, it's just like a regular career fair, except you're not in person, which I guess you guys already figured that out, which is fine. It's not a traditional career fair, but it is very much so virtual. The best way I can describe it is that you guys will be kind of set in breakout rooms, which Marielle is going to go through how does that look like in Handshake and how to use Handshake in that aspect. We want you to be able to still do the most important things when it comes to the virtual career fair, like you were going to a regular career fair. So we're going to talk about making sure that your computer mic is working. They can see you if you want to be seen for sure. That in that chat box, you're doing complete sentences and not text and not doing text talk. You know what I mean? So we want to make sure that you guys can see exactly what they're looking for. This is a place for you to be very visible in a world that's not going to really allow you to be that hands-on. So we're going to take that opportunity to talk about the platform, Zoom, WebEx, all the different things that we use to help you do a virtual career fair. All right, so a lot of recruiters are doing virtual format at this time just due to COVID. We want to make sure that we keep up to date on that. It is so important, and Marielle's going to go through this after I present, but that you do have all platforms updated. So your Handshake platform needs to be updated. Your LinkedIn platform needs to be updated because this is the way that they can virtually see you now. Where most of the time that you will be able to come to the CAC and come to an event, everything is virtual now. So for them to be able to see you and touch you, they can touch you through these virtual platforms. So it's so important that you make sure that those things are up to date and ready to go, and that they're relying a lot on that to do that. What companies are looking for? What companies are always looking for? Did you do your research? Do you know what they're about? What did you apply for? Did you apply for anything? You definitely have to go on this, very much so, done your research, know what you're looking for, and being fully aware of what you want to do. Just because the time frame is going to be a lot smaller than what you guys are used to. It might be a limited amount of access depending on which forum you're going to. So you want to keep that in mind, okay? For instance, we're having all our career fairs this semester are going to be based off of your major. So if it's not really focused on your major and not what you really want to do, might not be something that you want to attend. But if it is focused on your major, do your research on the companies that are attending by going to fairs in Handshake, so you can see all the companies that are attending, and pick the ones that you would normally pick if you were going to a regular career fair, and do your research on them. We have research platforms in Handshake under resources called Hoover and Vault. You have full access to them. They're granted to you because you're a business student. Click on those resources and they will allow you to see everything that they're doing, but also go to their website as well. Look and see what they have to offer. If they have a position open on Handshake and you applied for it, that's something you need to let them know while you're in this career fair as well in the chat, that you applied to this position and you're very interested. If they're holding a panel or another virtual event, it's something that they need to see you at again. The more that they see you at their events, just like in person, the more they're used to you being at their events and they want to talk to you about being with their company. Just like today, I've seen a lot of familiar face names on the virtual call. There's been so many people that have been attending lots of events since we've been started, and we're only in week 2. They will take notice to that as well, okay? Also, try to avoid any background noises, any distractions, make sure your computer is on mute when you're not speaking. Make sure your webcam is working, and make sure you have your 30-second elevator pitch, okay? And we're gonna get into that. All right, so the best way to introduce yourself is through an elevator pitch. You have to be able to make a great first impression. And unfortunately, during this time, it's gonna be a short period of time. So the best way we figured out that you can master this is by doing our IEC method, which is intro, experience, and closing. It is gonna be so important that you, first of all, say your first name and last name, because they don't know you like that. So you gotta say that information. Make sure you tell them your major. We always say, tell them your classification, which we would also like to say, tell them your year. Tell them when you are graduating. That is also a very important item, because they cannot give you a job if they don't know when you're leaving Georgia State. We love that you are here, but you are going to have to go. So make sure you tell them that. Also, what is your ultimate goal? What is the goal that you're trying to accomplish? Is it an internship? Is it a full-time position? And what is it in? Are you looking to have a full-time position as an actuary? Are you looking to go into underwriting? If you're a CIS major, are you looking to do programming? Are you looking to be a business analyst? What are you looking to do and why? They want to know your passions. Also, when you get into experience, what experience do you have in that? Have you taken PACE? So you have some consulting experience. For accounting majors, have you taken some classes that will display and show why you're so interested in tax or audit? What have you done for them to want to go ahead and say, yes, let's talk further? Lastly, close on what you feel that you can gain and how you can be an asset to this particular company. They want to know what you can bring to the table. If everybody's resume looks the same, everybody else's GPA is the same, and everybody has the same major, what is going to allow you to stand out from all of that? And that is what they need to know in this 30-second elevator pitch. If this is something that you guys want afterwards, we can definitely go ahead and send this particular slide to you. We do have it for you in a PDF sheet as well, and can send that over as well. Let's move along. STAR method. The STAR method is something that is clearly one of our key things that we use for interviewing. A lot of you are going to go through a lot of different behavioral based interviews, which is really just about you and who you are. And so it's going to talk about a lot of different situations that you come across. You are going to have to learn to be what I like to call a great storyteller. The great part is that the stories are about you. So you should be able to do this. It shouldn't be too hard. But the best way to do it is through the STAR method. Let's talk about what the situation is going to be. Look at the task, focus on that action, and give them a result. And I always say give them a result, but I always like to put a plus sign by the R because the result needs to be positive. Remember, this is an interview. So when you are interviewing, this is a time for you to be positive about everything. Don't throw anybody under the bus. Don't say what somebody didn't do. It's all about what you contributed to the project, despite any challenges that you might have had, because you do have to speak on the challenges. Speak about how you overcame those challenges and how you were helpful in overcoming those challenges. And that's what's going to be important. This is a good screenshot as well. Moving right along, wonderful people. Now, just like a face-to-face, it can be completely different. But you guys still have to do the most important part is dress the part, okay? And yes, dress the part from head to toe, just in case your computer tips over by accident and falls and you got to get up. You want to make sure that you're fully dressed and you're not in pajama bottoms. You want to make sure that you're in a good spot. You also want to make sure that they can see you clearly within those 4 screen walls, I like to call them, that they can see what's around you. You can also do some cool things like Marielle has this great New York background. I want to be in New York too, Marielle. That you can go ahead and put in your background.
That is Atlanta. Don't even play me like that. No, that is Atlanta.
That's Atlanta. Oh, she did an Atlanta background. My bad. I do want to be in New York. Can y'all tell? They don't have that coronavirus that bad. So I think that's kind of cool right now. But you can do any type of background that you want to do. Make sure it's professional. Me and Marielle laugh all the time because our teammate Aaliyah wanted to do all these cool backgrounds the other day. And we fussed at her so bad because we were like, we have to set a good example. Our background cannot look like we're in the middle of a cartoon. So like, as much as you want to be cool, play around, do something different, understand the audience that you're going to be with and make sure that you're in a professional setting, even when it comes to your background. Make sure you have your resume in hand. Make sure you have a notebook in hand as well to take notes. This is the opportunity where you can have all that information in front of you and be able to still do your interview like you need to do. But also be organized with it. That information is so important for you to have. You should actually already memorize your resume. Like, I'm very key. Any of my students will tell you that is what I preach all the time. You should be able to recite your resume from when you first started to where you are right now, right on key. And that shouldn't be any questions, any givens. But if you want to take notes, have your trusty notebook, have a pen ready for it as well. Have the job description handy so you can see that as well if you need to print that off. Those are things that you need to have with you in order to be very successful during your digital interview. And also, once again, you want to make sure you know your computer is working properly. I'm a big fan of making sure your computer is plugged up. Marielle laughs at us all the time because we have like crazy computers that if we don't charge them and keep them on the plug, they're gonna like go out in the middle of a session. So like we always keep our stuff plugged up. So that's very important. But make sure you're interested in this role. Make sure you've done your research. I cannot explain how important doing your research is. They want to make sure that you want to be at that company and they want to know why. I'll give you a great example. Georgia Pacific is down the street from us. And lots of people want to go to Georgia Pacific. It's a great company. But if you're not there and you don't understand what their culture is like, you haven't done your research on a particular department, like the accounting department or their business analysts, they have a department for training and development. Those are things that you really want to take hold of and get to know that information and why they're so important in the world today. Also, make sure you find out what's important for you. What are your goals? What are your ambitions? And make sure you bring those questions to the table as well. That's important because it's a two-way street. It's what you want and what they want. It's a process. Wrapping up this interview now, you guys, please make sure that you thank the interviewer. Always ask for those next steps. You need to know if it's going to take 2 weeks, 3 weeks. COVID might take a little longer than normal, but please make sure you find out how long that process is going to take. Where we used to always preach about, give them a letter in person. Email is going to be just fine at this very moment. So send them a great email and let them know. And then make sure you do your own due diligence of following up within the next week or two. But make sure you find out who they are. Make sure you make connections. Ask, can you connect with them on LinkedIn? All those things are important to building those relationships throughout your interview process. All right, question and answer time. Marielle, go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say you did have one question. Malaysia asked, what if you know the industry you want to work in, i.e. insurance, but don't necessarily know what job role you're interested in?
I always suggest you talk to a professor within your department, one that you feel like you can really trust, and try your student organizations. Your student organizations, you're a part of a dynamic department. You have tons of resources at your fingers. Use them. Your student organization for your major goes above and beyond. Your faculty member for that student organization goes above and beyond. Speak to them about what you're looking to do and different aspects of it, so you can get different perspectives. And it's so important to get that. Your student organization will help you do that a lot. Me, Marielle, and Aaliyah really, really hone in on what's important when it comes to student organizations. They want to talk to y'all more than anything. Like, they're okay with talking to us, but they prefer to find y'all and your student organization and be a part of that. So it's a really good opportunity for you to go find your student organization, try to find a mentor in that, and speak to your professors. What else? Let's see what we got. Anybody else? Y'all don't have any questions?
Yeah, some people are sending me questions privately, which is cool. So
okay.
Is when will we know about our major career fairs? For instance, I want to work in human resources.
Wow.
Do you want me to take that one?
Take it, Marielle, take it.
So right now, all of the fairs are listed in Handshake. You want to make sure that you filter to the J. Mac Robinson College of Business or Career Advancement Center as your career center in Handshake, and I'm going to show you how to do that actually. That way it filters everything down. We know there's a lot of stuff in Handshake and you're like, I can't find anything. But the best way to find out what's going on with the college and all the events that we have in career fairs is to do that. Right now there is a fair, I think it's for marketing and management. It's so many, but it's a fair for you. Just trust me on that. So if you go filter for J. Mac Robinson, and then you're going to look for career fairs. It'll have all of our fairs listed for the semester, and then you can just register. And y'all can register right now if you want to. And I'm going to show you how to do that. The next question.
Thank you.
How can you stand out when you do not technically have the experience, Keisha?
How can I say what?
She said, how can you stand out, like as a candidate, when you do not technically have the experience, when you don't have really a lot of experience?
Right. That is always my favorite question. Because you guys always think y'all don't have enough experience. But the classes that you're currently going through are experience. You're doing projects, you're doing real life work in your classwork, and you can use those projects, that class experience, the things that you're working on and learning as your experience. This is what me and Aaliyah do all the time to help flip everybody's resume. When we have that section on your resume called course experience, that's what we're using to help you gain the experience that you need. You don't necessarily have it, but you're learning it. And you're learning bits and pieces of it. And all of that can be utilized to show that you're starting to get experience in your field.
Okay, I got one more. And it says, should I come with a specific resume tailored to the job title or a general resume? I have experience, but in 3 different industries.
For you, yeah, you want to definitely be very specific so that you can be clear of what your end goal is. You don't want to confuse anybody. So yeah, you would have to tailor your resume based on what you want to do. I would definitely do that.
Okay, next question. What is a key factor that should always be on a resume?
Your education. Georgia State University, J. Mac Robinson College of Business, and when you're graduating from this wonderful institution, and what you're getting your degree in, along with your GPA. That first section is going to be key. They want to know who, what, where, and when, and why, and when are you leaving? That's the main part. They definitely want to know that. So yes, always have that on there.
I don't see any more questions. So
No more questions?
And y'all can keep putting questions in. I just want to get to the handshake profiles and stuff because I know some of y'all are going to have questions about that. Hold on. So the person who just wrote me about the one-on-one sessions, I'm going to answer that question.
Okay.
Do me a favor in the chat, if you can let me know, is your handshake profile active? So we've had a lot of students say, oh, this is my first time logging into Handshake. So just give me a yes or no, just so I kind of have an idea.
I'm seeing a lot of yeses.
A lot of yeses.
I'm proud.
Yes, Malaysia, I will explain that shortly as well.
Yes, tell them about the breakout rooms. I saw that. These yeses are giving me life today on this Friday.
I love it. All right, so I'm going to, if I can find it, where is my, I was actually going to try to share my screen. If not, if it's not going to work for me, then I will walk you through it. There it is. Okay. All right, so I'm going to share one of my favorite students to share. Ashley, I always use her profile because I just think it's great. All right, so many of you all have an active Handshake account, which I am over the moon about that. That makes me really excited, and me and Keisha are really excited to see all them yeses. Okay, so I want to walk you through some things that you all have control of. I get quite a bit of a few questions from students surrounding some things, and especially now because we're in this virtual environment, the biggest thing that students really want to ask, what do I control as far as what employers can see? All right, so right now we are viewing Ashley's profile as an employer. So this is literally what they see when they look at your profile on Handshake, okay? So as Keisha was stating on your resume, you need to make sure that you want your year to be on your Handshake profile, which I think you guys don't have the option to change. We have to change that. When you graduate will be shown, of course, your major, of course, you know, what university you're with and the specific college. But the biggest question that I get is, will employers see my GPA? The answer to that question is if you want them to. So some students don't realize they have that power. So you have 3 options when it comes to your GPA being shown to employers on your profile. The first is you can show just your cumulative GPA, so your overall. The second option is you can just show your major GPA, or you don't show either. So you get to control that. If you need to know how to do that, you can drop that in the comments. I can't see the comments right now, but let us know and then I can show you easily, and it's very easy to do. If you kind of don't know how to navigate that space, we're happy to do that. As you see, Ashley has a lot of skills here. That's really important in this climate because employers can put in keywords or things of that nature if they're looking for certain type of candidates. So when they're searching, you want to make sure that you put all of your skills there. So we see she has accounting, actuarial, she has Microsoft Word, MS Word, she's people oriented, she's good at PowerPoint, you know, teaching. So we actually do use Ashley to teach other students how to kind of structure their resume. So that's an accurate one. So any skill set that you have, please make sure that's filled out. You want to make sure that your work experience is listed on your Handshake profile. I look at some students' profiles. Sometimes I just go in just to kind of see what students are doing. And a lot of the work experience is missing. So some of you all may be like, I don't really have any. That's okay, because there is a class section on your Handshake profile. You do want to list pertinent classes. And I'm sure Keisha and Aaliyah can kind of give you some guidance on what ones you need to focus on, especially for specific majors. But you do need to put your work experience, if you have any internship experience, all of that. See, actually went all the way back to when she was a child care coordinator. That matters because I think in doing that role, we can still see certain skill sets. So you want to do that. Get involved on campus so you can fill out this section here. So have some organizations that you're a part of, some extracurricular activities. Keisha mentioned earlier about student orgs. Please get involved with those. That's super, super important, because you don't just want to rely on your grades and the classes that you've taken. You really want to have some other things up under your belt too. So make sure that that is filled out. And then here's the course section I was talking about. You don't have to put every course that you've taken, but I would say, especially with accounting and Keisha, I think it's RMI, actuarial science students, whoever has to take the test, that's not my lane, but you need to make sure that you're putting pertinent classes there. So that's really important. And then any projects that you've worked on. I want to make sure that you all have a complete Handshake profile, because again, this is how employers are finding you now. One of the things I will say is the first question is about the GPA that I get from students. But the other question that I get all the time is, how do employers find me on Handshake? I'm so glad you asked me that question. So you control if they find you or not. If you don't listen to anything else I say during the rest of this presentation, please, 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 please make it easy for employers to find you. Your account should not be on private during this time. This is such a weird time, and if virtual is the only way they can find you, it doesn't make sense for your account to be on private as your Handshake account. It just doesn't. So if you are like, I'm a little skeptical, I don't know because my Handshake profile doesn't look that great, we have you. We got you. Just come talk to us. We can make sure that it looks structured, it's good, and you're ready to go. If you don't know how to make your Handshake profile public, I can walk you guys through that. And I think I'm gonna stop viewing as an employer for just a second. All right. So I'm going to switch over and I'm going to view this as Ashley. So this is actually from the student perspective. Move this over here. If you click on your profile picture, you're going to go to settings and privacy. This is where you'll find where you can make your profile public. So you got three options. The community is one of my favorites because you can interact with people on Handshake, period. So not just at Georgia State, but any student, any alum who's graduated from any other universities, you all can message each other on Handshake. It's a great way to me to network with alum who may be working at a company that you may be interested in or things of that nature. So it gives you more of a network. Think about LinkedIn, right? It gives you more of a network in that way. So you have a community, or you can just make it where just employers find you. They do search by major. They search by GPA, so they can do all these different filters. So we want to make sure that that's turned on. So either the community version or the employer version. And then of course there's the private version. Again, you want to make this as easy as possible for employers to find you. And that's really important, okay? I know I saw a bunch of alerts come through, so I want to see if there are questions. I hate this viewpoint because I can't. Trying to see if I can pull up the chat box, but I don't think I can. So if it's cool, I'm going to stop sharing for just 1 second just so I can see the chat. Okay.
Yes, there's quite a few questions. They did want you to show it, so I think some things you did show.
Okay.
It was also the question that said, are descriptions necessary? I definitely said yes, but mainly for the things that are important to what you're trying to do and you want to show. So, Marielle, anything you want to elaborate on the descriptions?
Yeah, I agree. I would put something, and it could be more like the I just lost my train of thought. But what Keisha just said, I agree. I think many of you all were saying you wanted to see how you can control the GPA feature. I'm sensing that was what
I
was
think
being
that was
said.
it. Was that it? And
I
before
think
we
so.
get into everybody's questions, yes,
Yes,
somebody tell
okay,
me
cool.
yes. Okay.
How can we get active on campus in a virtual environment? So I've been seeing a lot of events around campus that are virtual. I've actually signed up for some as a staff member. Um, but I would say, I think on our webpage for robinson.gsu.edu, we have a section for student org. So you're able to see all of the student organizations that are a part of the college. And I want to say like faculty advisors are listed on there. So you at least have somebody to contact to figure out, hey, when's the meeting? I know if you're an accounting student, we have accounting club, I think most Mondays. And so
Right.
you can participate in that. Um,
Gamma Alpha Sigma for risk management insurance students. We have ASA for actuarial science students, and the American Marketing Association for our marketing students. And SHRM is having an event today for the HR group. So if you're interested in HR, SHRM is having, I think, a mixer virtually at 4. So we have plenty of groups that we can get you guys in contact with.
yeah. Jada, you just wrote me a question. Could you email me, please? Send it directly to me. It's mthomas125@gsu.edu. If you could email me with that, and I'll have to do something on the back end and try to figure that out for you. Okay. Is student organizations important for master students? Yes. I'm going to take a breath.
Don't even take a breath on it. We can actually get you the grad side CIS, because I believe she's a CIS major, information. We'll send it to you. I have your email.
Is there any finance group?
Yes.
Yes.
Finance Society, and it's another one. I cannot remember the name. It's on the tip of my tongue. I'm sorry. But yes, there's an investment group, a finance society. Yeah, we do it all at the RCB. Actually, y'all do it all at the RCB. We just here to support.
If you go to robinson.gsu.edu and go to the search, type in student organizations. There's like a whole web page dedicated to all of the student orgs that are in the college. So somebody just asked me to repeat that. This person, what can we expect for the one-on-one sessions to be open? As of now, only a couple companies have the one-on-one sessions available for the career fair on September 17th. I'm gonna go ahead and answer that question because I need to dive back into showing y'all something. So keep in mind that Handshake is new. That the virtual career fair platform is for Handshake. So we're still working with employers. There's some glitches. And so be patient on that. I would say wait to at least a week before the fair to sign up, just to, because we're trying to help employers get acclimated as well. So they're trying to get those sessions set up for you all to sign up. So Shafali, I don't know if that's how, if I said your name right. I'm sorry if I did not. So I would just say maybe wait like a week before. We are working with them currently right now though to get those set up. So it's just taking a little bit of, we're having some user errors and there's some glitches. So we're just trying to make sure we got everybody set and fixed so you all can register appropriately. Yes, there is a CIS group.
Yes, it's the Association of Information Systems and WIT, which is Women in Technology, and we have Panther Hackers. CIS has a lot of different groups that you can be a part of. Shout out to Zane. ASIC, yes, big one for finance group. If you're into, check out ASIC. That's another good one. What else did we miss? Accomplishments. Yep, Princess, yes, you need to include your accomplishments in the job description. Perfect. That's how that works. Anybody else?
Thank you, Wanda, but it got sent to me privately. Can you put that in the to everybody? So Wanda's gonna actually pin for you guys. She's gonna show you the link for the student orgs. So it's in the chat
Thanks,
right now.
Wanda.
Thank you, Wanda. Wanda is my counterpart on the graduate side. So she is the graduate employee relations specialist. Okay, so I'm going to show y'all two things and then we're going to be done and then we can have some more questions if you guys want. The first thing is I'm going to go back and show you how to change or show your GPA or take it off if you don't want employers to see that, because it looks like we had some questions about that. So let me share my screen one more good time.
One more good time.
All right, so let's see. Actually, let me go back to my profile. So you're going to click on your icon. You're going to hit my profile. You're going to scroll down. So you see where your education is. This little pencil will show up. If you click that, you're going to scroll down. So here it is. So you got your department GPA, which is your major GPA. You have your cumulative GPA, which of course is everything. You decide what employers will see. Do I hide it from them? Do I show them? So you see Ashley doesn't even have her major GPA. She just put her cumulative. So, and she's making sure that employers can see that. So that's how you will control that. I just want to kind of be clear on that. And so you should be set there. Handshake was designed for students. So you all have a lot of control. And I think some students don't really realize that, but you all have a lot of different things that you can control. Oh, I know what I forgot. On your Handshake profile, not only do you want to make your Handshake profile public, you also need to make sure you have your resume public on your profile. I can't stress that. Because if they're searching for you, they're going to want to see your resume. So you can't just have, and let me switch back over to the employer.
So they can see. Not only that, but you got to make sure it's approved.
Exactly. So, and here's the other thing. You get to control which resume the employer sees. So I have some students, they have like 15 different resumes in the system, but they only have one shown on their profile. You control that as well. So if you go to the document section, and if I need to walk you all through that as well, I'm more than happy to do that. But you can go to the document section and you will see a button that says make public. That will attach it.
Do it, Marielle. Just do it.
Yeah, they need to see this. That will attach it to. But this is the employer view. So when I'm as an employer, I can see Ashley's documents. So any document that she wanted shown, if she wanted her resume, her transcripts, and her cover letter shown, she would have marked that on her own, and I would see that. But right now, she only has her resume, which is perfect. So don't just make your profile public. You need to make sure you also have a document showing which should be your resume. If you want to do your transcript, you can. That's not necessarily mandatory. Some students like to wait until they're in the process and when they're asked to show their transcript from the employer. So you don't have to do that. So I'm going to show you really quickly how to do that because I've noticed a lot of students do not have their resume showing on their profiles. Okay, so let me go back to being Ashley for just a quick second. All right, so you're going to click on your profile picture again. You're going to click documents. And here's the secret sauce right here. So yes. You see she has all these cover letters. She doesn't have any transcripts uploaded, but you could put if any document you want on here, but you control what's visible, right? And I want to say this too. There are times we get positions from employers or they're looking for candidates where we pull resumes. If your resume is not visible, and if it's not been approved or looked at, or we go with what's in the system. So that's why Keisha was saying you want to make sure it's approved. You want to make sure that if you are a grad student, you've met with your career coach. If you're an undergraduate student, you've met with your career counselor, that you have gone through the process of making sure that your resume is good. Because sometimes we pull resumes out the system and give them to employers. You never know when your opportunity is coming. So you want to make sure that everything is correct, is up to date. Please, please, please. And especially with this virtual environment, we get a lot of inquiries from employers who are like, we don't even know where to start. We're just looking for some really great actuarial science students with GPA. Can y'all help us? We sure can. We're going to do a VIP resume search for you. So we want to make sure everything in Handshake is correct because whatever's in there, that's what we're going to roll with, okay? If it's so bad, though, sometimes we do go through the resumes. If the resumes are bad, we take you out. We just take you out of the crowd. Keisha will confirm.
Yes, I do.
Like we will take you right on out the pile because we want to make sure that it's representative of you and the college, right? So I'm going to show you all how to register for the fair correctly really quickly, and then I'm going to come back to answer questions, and then we're going to wrap up because it's Friday. All right, so if you go to, I'm still with Ashley in events. So we see Ashley is already registered for the Robinson College of Business. Most students always ask me, okay, I've registered for the fair. How do I get back to it? When you go up under events, your schedule will be to the right, okay? So if you click on what you have registered for, it'll take you right to that particular event, okay? And I'm actually about to walk you through, I'm gonna actually take Ashley's registration off and we're gonna re-register. Okay, so I'm gonna go back to events. Remember I said we wanna filter, so it just makes our lives so much easier. So we can just see our career center, so JMac Robinson, so we're gonna click that, okay? We'll click show results. So these are all the events that are associated with our college right now, okay? You can go through that, it's a lot of them. When you just wanna find the career fair, you're gonna click career fair. These are all of the career fairs that we have for the semester. You can go ahead and register for them now. There are some that are graduate specific only. So undergrads, you cannot register for those. It will say graduate in the name. But any other events, so like the Robinson College of Business Hospitality, Marketing, Virtual Fair, all that, that's for undergrads and graduates. So I want to be very clear on that. Okay, so since this is next week and actually is an actuarial science student, we're going to click on the RMI fair that's set for next Friday. If you are actuarial science and risk management insurance student, we want to see you next Friday.
Yes, we do.
So it takes me to the page of the fair. You're going to click register. Do not stop there. This is where we have found students have made errors. If you just click register, we just see you counting, but you cannot participate really in the fair. So this nice little bubble pops up to say you're registered. What's next? Make sure you click view employer sessions, okay? This takes you to the page where all the employers that have group sessions and one-on-one sessions set up, you can see it, and then you get to select which ones you're going to. You will not get to all 38 employers. So you need to, it's just like the regular fair. You gotta wanna narrow down, here are my top 5, okay? Now, I wanna say this, it is really important for you as a student that you do not wait to the last minute in this virtual space. Because what happens with this platform is the employers control how many sessions, what type of session they're gonna do, and the timing. When those spaces are gone, there's nothing we can do about it.
Not a thing.
So if you wait till the day before the fair and the company that you really wanted to see, all the one-on-one spaces are gone and all their group sessions are filled up, that's all, we can't do anything about that. They are controlling that, okay? So let's say Ashley is like, oh, I really want to hear what AAA has to say. She's going to register for the 1 o'clock. So you see they have a 1 p.m., they have an 11 a.m. session. Ashley figures she wants to do the 1 p.m. session. So she's going to click there and click confirm. She'll do that for every company that she wants to meet with. You want to make sure though, you can't overlap sessions. So let's say you can't sign up for 2 1 o'clock sessions. The system knows you can't be in both places at one time. So I would suggest if one of the companies has a morning session, go to that and then go to another session in the afternoon. Because once you've started a session, it's hard to register for a session that's at the same time. So just try to schedule your time out. That's why I say don't wait to the last minute, because this does require some planning on your part. I know that we're used to physical fairs. It's the day of, you like, oh, let me roll out of bed and get dressed real quick and go make some copies of my resume and go hit this fair. You can't really do that with this. You got to make sure you're doing this on time and in advance. I had a student for the accounting fair. He was on. He did his early. He got 10 employers. He got all the big 4. And a lot of his friends didn't because they waited until like a day before and all the slots are filled. So you'll go through all of the employers. So right now we're working with employers and setting up their sessions. So I would say give us to like Monday. If you see some of your companies don't have their sessions set up yet, some of them we're working with them on that. But the ones who do, and if you're interested, go ahead and register for those. The day of the fair, other big question is, well, I signed up for these sessions. How do I know? Like, when is the link coming? If you just go back to events, remember I told you your schedule is going to be to your right. You're going to click scheduled sessions, and it will show you all the sessions that you are registered for. So I see my sessions. When 1 o'clock hits, once I click that, I'll be in the session. It's really that simple. But you got to make sure you take these steps to make sure you're properly registered. Okay. So I know that there are a few questions that I saw, so I'm gonna stop sharing.
Yes, I've been answering some for you.
Perfect. Thank you. Okay. So does anybody have any questions pertaining to the fairs? I just want to make sure that you all are registered correctly. Because can I also tell you, because y'all are here, I'll give you the inside secret. Last week when we did the county fair, students didn't know this, but if they had registered correctly, I sent all the resumes from the fair to employers.
Woo!
If you just click register, your resume was not included. If you didn't sign up for any sessions, because that's not how the system works. You have to do both. If you don't do both, you might as well not even done it, right? So please make sure you hit register and go sign up for some sessions. That's super, 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 super important. I can't stress that enough. So don't be shy if you got questions. If you are like, I don't want to talk about it in a public forum, we got you, no worries. Monday through Thursday, we host undergraduate walk-in hours.
Yes.
I'll try to be there all next week. From what time, Keisha? I don't remember. 2 to 4, I think.
2 to 4.
Sorry, me and Keisha, it's been a long.
It's new to us. You have to work with us 2 to 4, but we'll be there. We also have resume review workshops on Wednesdays. I'm about to get this wrong. We'll post it because I'm gonna get
So Wednesdays, I remember it's from 12 to 1:30.
Thank you.
I got it. Wednesdays,
I'm sorry.
12 to 1:30 for resumes, and then walk-in hours for undergraduate students only from 2 p.m. to 4. Yes. Malaysia, can you explain which meeting you're talking about? Is it one of the walk-in hours, so I know what we need to send you? Oh, Jafer, that's awesome. Sorry, people sending me messages privately. So any questions that you all have, it doesn't matter what it's about. Before we wrap up, we just want to make sure we get to all of your questions. And like I said,
I think I answered most of them. Princess, I'm sending you a cover letter template when we get off. Let's see what else. Somebody was asking. I think I got most of everybody. I think I got them. Everybody's question. Somebody has it. Yes.
Go ahead.
I have a question about the uploading documents to Handshake. I wanted to know how I could change the status from pending.
So are you an undergraduate student or a graduate student?
I'm an undergrad student.
What's your major?
Yeah.
Risk management and insurance.
Oh, that's me. Hi. Yes, if you need yours not to be pending, just shoot me a quick email as a reminder so I can go ahead and or approve your resume. And I'll put that in the chat box for everybody who is here today, who's risk management, insurance, actuarial science, management, marketing, hospitality, and entrepreneurship. Anybody else can also, it's okay. I can approve your resume if Aaliyah is not here. Graduate students definitely need to reach out to their career counselors to make sure that they get their resume approved as well. Like I said, you can find who your career counselor is at robinson.gsu.edu/CAC and just go into the grad or undergraduate section along with the career guide as well for each grad and undergrad. So we have all of that for you.
So the chat just exploded.
It just exploded. Just know that. Yes.
So Marilyn Santiago, who is our director of graduate career advancement, she just said grad students should contact their grad career coaches for assistance and watch out for info in the weekly grad newsletter on
there
Wednesday.
She is.
There she is. And so make sure y'all are looking out for that. Keisha, this one is for you. Zane says, I'm a math major wanting to be an actuary. Can I be included in RMI Fair/resume books?
I'll get you in there. Come on down.
And yes, you can register, Zane, for the RMI Fair. So just go ahead and make that happen.
And Zane, email me so I can do that real quick. What else? Anybody else? I see somebody told me to send her something.
Yeah, somebody said, can I have a cover letter template and resume template as well? I'm a finance major.
Yes, y'all see my email. It says lhughes@gsu.edu. Please email me real quick so I can go ahead and send that out to you guys. Is it Shahara? You too. I see you on here. Thank you. Yes.
Fernanda, so basically they're in the process of approving your resume. Yes. So we do approve resumes. If you feel like it's been out there for a minute, please just contact us.
And let us know.
Just let us know. A general email that you all can send things to is robinsoncac@gsu.edu. So robinsoncac@gsu.edu, and let us know. We do have students who, if you have handshake issues, that's where you can send them, and then we try to get those knocked out for you. So just let us know.
And get our thoughts in there as well.
Sent to our email. Yes. If you are an undergraduate student or a graduate student, it is sent directly to your email. If you're an undergraduate student, it comes from Handshake, but my name is usually on it. So that's how you know. Some of you knew my name before you ever saw my face. So, because I sent a lot of emails. All the events that we have going on, top jobs, your career counselors, your career coaches, if you're on the grad side, events, employer events, all of that is in newsletters. So make sure you're paying attention to your emails about that. Can we edit our resume on VMOC, Keisha? Yes, you can ask that.
Absolutely. VMOC will allow you to, you definitely should use VMOC going into this career fair. If you don't know what VMOC is our career platform, which will allow you to upload your resume, and it actually helps boost up your resume. We can put the link. Denise is here, the director of undergraduate career services as well. Put the link in the VMOC so you have access to it to go ahead and upload your resume, and it'll kind of help you figure out what you need to improve about it, and then send it to your career counselor so it can be approved once you upload it to Handshake. So everybody has access to that. We've made sure, so it's definitely something you can use to upgrade your resume.
So Princess, you just asked, how do we get our resume to recruiters in a virtual environment? This is why I was saying it's super important for you to make sure that your resume is on your Handshake profile, because that's how they're finding you. So even, I didn't say this part. When you register for a session, that's why you got to register for these sessions, y'all, for career fairs. They can see your profile. They're going to go to it. So they can see every student that's registered. Most of them are doing their work on the front end. They're going to see every student that has registered for the session, and they're looking at your resume if it's public on your profile. So make sure you are doing that. I can't stress that enough. So Princess, that's one of the ways. The second way is, again, make sure that whatever resume you have in Handshake, that it is up to date and that it's correct. You've worked with your coach, you've worked with your counselor, whichever one if you're on the undergrad or grad side. Because again, we're getting asked from employers to send recommendations or send resumes to them for a really great opportunity. That's another way. It's through us. So just make sure that everything is correct in Handshake. On VMOC, I received a 70 on my resume.
That's actually pretty good. That's like our goal mark. We're gonna raise the goal mark a little bit higher, but that's pretty much good. 70 is not bad. I know that in the world of grades, that looks like that's supposed to be a D. That is not the case. You actually are on the track of great work. So that's actually a really good score. Just also have your career counselor or career coach look at that, and then you should be good to go, honestly.
Yeah. Mahadi says, I have 2 different roles. I am open to apply. And so I basically say he has 2, or she, I don't know, has 2 different resumes. How do I approach? I don't know what WRT means. I'm sorry. Wait, are you on right now? Do you mind unmuting yourself? Because I think you could ask your questions just to make sure I get it right.
Yes. Take yourself up.
Mahadi, are you still there? I don't know.
Corey, don't do it.
Hi, I'm Mahati. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, so I have 2 different roles that I'm open to apply. One is software engineering and one is data analytics. So I have 2 different resumes as well. So whenever there's a career fair, I'm confused what to project first.
I will say, so Keisha, can I ask a question? Because I want to make, because for people like Mahadi, like if they have 2 different things, do you just have you can't have, do you have a general resume or do you tailor it to the actual career fair? Like, so if the career fair is major specific, do I just roll with that? Do I have a general email, like a general resume that has a combination of both things that I typically would have on separate resumes? How does that work?
Okay, so it depends on if they're relatable. If they're really not relatable and very separate. So for instance, if I was in HR, which I was, but if I was in HR and then I decided that I wanted to do more of a CIS role, I would have 2 separate different types of resumes. But if I was in HR, but I wanted to get into HRIS, which is still part of CIS, but it's a human resources systems that I would prefer to work on, but I have human resources background. They kind of are they combine themselves, they collaborate. So you can put that in like one resume. So it depends on what the 2 are. Can you combine them? Do they relate to each other? And if they don't relate to each other and they're 2 total completely different things, then they need to be separate on 2 separate resumes. Does that help?
Yeah, so my question is, because in career fairs we can only project 1 resume. You can't project 2 resumes, and you just get 10 minutes with the employer. So how do you deal with such situations?
Yes, you're right. And you're saying that for what you're trying to give them, you would probably need 1, because at the career fair, I would have to combine them then. I would combine them, but make sure that while you're combining them, you have you can section it off and say this section is focused on this, and then this section is focused on that. Do it in chronological order so that they can see where your focus is lie, and that that you can they're combined because they're on one page or 1.5 pages, but they're allowed to see each section that you're doing and focusing. Right. So you're not lacking anything. That's the whole point. Don't lack anything.
Yeah, I got it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anybody else? You can feel free to raise your hand so you can speak, or if you don't feel comfortable, you can type it in the chat. It's a little after 12 now, so just we're happy to answer any questions, but
we're very mindful of your time. So yes, if you have to leave, we understand.
And it's Friday, so I get it. If you don't have any questions, you can go ahead and log out. Thank you guys so much for coming.
So much.
Again, if you're an undergraduate student, Monday through Thursday, we have 1 hour from 2 to 4. Keisha, Aaliyah, myself will be around. And then Wednesdays, undergraduate side, we have the weekly resume review workshop on Wednesdays from 12 to 1:30. You can register for all these in Handshake, y'all. Remember, I told y'all to put those filters on so you can find it.
See you soon. Walk-in hours. Y'all have a great weekend. Thank you for coming.
Princess, this recording is going to be on the college's YouTube channel. But since you all attended, I'm probably going to just send you the link directly so you have it. Go ahead, Drasana. I don't know if I said that right. You're welcome, Jocelyn.
Thank you. Thank you, Princess.
Hi,
Hi. I have a quick question. So I was wondering if we needed headshots done, how could we go about doing that?
That's what I didn't cover.
I know. Denise, are headshots up in our office at this time?
They are up in our office. I would suggest, however, we have, I don't know if you know this, but University Career Services has this Iris booth. And it's where you can go in there. It's open 24 hours a day. You can go in there and take your headshot. It looks even more professional than when a professional does it. We have it too. It looks a little different because it's portable. The problem with doing it with